Hi everyone! I can't believe that Valentine's Day is just around the corner. This makeup that I have on right now is inspired by Valentine's Day. You can wear it if you're going out on a date, if you're staying in with your date, or if you're going out for a girls' night out. It's just very pink and fun and flirty. So if you want to see how to get this look, just keep on watching. Hey there, let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to put on some of this primer. And I'm just going to put it mostly around my T-zone, but really over the rest of my face as well. Just smoothing it over. And I'm going to take some of this foundation and I'm just going to buff it into my skin, putting it all over, starting in the more problem areas. And I'm just going to smooth it all over my face. Don't forget the neck. Remember, that is very, very important to make sure everything blends well. I'm just putting it all around my face, making sure that I get everything blended and that it looks really natural. And I'm just going to put a little bit more on here to make sure that I cover everything that I want to cover before we go in with that concealer. Lots and lots of blending. I wish I could do this much faster, but unfortunately, this is the best I can do. So I'm going to go in with that concealer. This is the Laura Mercier one, and I'm just going to pat it in with my fingers and make sure that I get those dark circles there as best as we can. Bringing it up to the temples just a little bit so it blends in. And I'm just going to put it around my face a little bit in certain places that may have some redness, or I may have a couple blemishes. Typical. Nothing too crazy though. And now I'm going to go in with just a little bit of highlighter just around the areas in my eyes to brighten that up. And again, bringing it up to the temples a little bit and a little bit of a triangle shape there, and a little bit down the nose and other places on my face, just to make sure that everything is evened out. We don't want it to be too noticeable underneath the eyes. So it's good to do it a little bit around the face as well before we blend all of that in, which I'm going to do. And I wish I could do this quickly like I am in this part here, but unfortunately this is sped up. This isn't real time. I don't know if you could guess that, but this is not real, unfortunately. I wish it was. So very, very important. I'm going to go in and set that concealer and the highlighter. We don't want this to crease throughout the day, and so setting that with a powder will help. And I'm going in with the Anastasia Contour Kit because that's a great shade to highlight there, that banana shade. So just putting that all underneath my eyes and some of the other areas that I placed that highlighter, and that will brighten that up and keep it that color that we want it to be. And I'm going to powder the rest of my face because even though this foundation is really great at staying matte, I still get kind of oily, so it's good to do that. Speaking of oily, my oily eyelids, and sorry about the lighting there. I think that the clouds came out a little bit. But anyway, that'll change in just a little bit. So I'm putting that primer all over my eyes because that is what I need. And I'm going in to do the brows. We'll go over that quickly. Just using a MAC eyeshadow to fill in my brows really naturally. One and then the other. Again, I wish I could do this as quickly as I'm doing it in the video, but I cut a little bit of that out. Sorry. But I'm just going in and filling them in and making them look as natural as possible. And I'm going to go in with some brow gel just to make sure that they stay in place. And adds a little bit of color, but nothing too much. And now we're going to go in with the lovely Naked 3 palette, lots of pretty colors. We're going to take that first shade called Limit, and just going to take a blending brush and really buff that around my eye there, not being too careful, just spreading that color around really more as a transition shade, doing both eyes. It's just going to add a little bit of depth and make everything easier to blend. Now I'm going to go in with this great matte color called Nooner. This is really great to put in the crease. And just going to take a little bit of that on my brush there and putting that into the crease a little bit and blending it up a little bit as well, but making sure that that color deepens our crease a little bit. That's going to give the eye a really nice definition. So you can see I'm swirling my brush a little bit, but focusing that on the crease. So now I'm going to wet my brush a little bit with some MAC Fix Plus, and I'm going to go into a beautiful color called Buzz, that sparkly pink color there. And so I'm going to pack that color onto the lid. And I'm just going to keep doing that. If I need to wet it more, I'll wet it more. But I'm just going to keep going back into that color and just packing it on the lid so that it makes it really nice and sparkly and pigmented. You could do this without wetting your brush, but this really intensifies the color. So that really works well. And I'm going to go back in and just soften those edges and make sure everything is really nicely blended, because that's very, very important. So now I'm going to go into just a little bit of a darker color, not too much darker. It's called Factory, and it's just going to deepen that outer V a little bit. You can see I'm patting it there and then spreading it a little bit. And you can add something darker if you want. I just wanted to keep it a little bit more natural. And so I'm just adding a little bit of depth there, nothing too dark. This is Valentine's Day after all. It's not, you know, we're not going clubbing, or I don't know, maybe you are. So now I'm going to go in with this color Dust, and I'm just going to take this and spread it a little bit above that top color there. That's just going to add a little bit of extra something, something. So just going to spread that above there, and that's just going to add a little bit of extra color, but it's just a little more sparkle than anything else. And I'm also going to take that color with my finger there, and I'm just going to tap it in the middle of my eye, and it's just going to make those eyes really pop. It's just a little bit of a lighter shimmery pink than the other one. And I'm going to go in with this color Strange. Don't know why it's called Strange, but which is kind of strange. But I'm going to use that just to highlight my brows a little bit and in the inner corner of my eye. And it's nothing too sparkly because everything else is pretty sparkly. So just to open up the eyes a little bit. Now, the scary part, this is the most terrifying part of the whole makeup for me. I don't know about you. Oh, eyeliner. I'm just going to do a little bit of a wing here. Nothing too crazy, but it always is scary. And of course, I have to go in and try the other eye once I'm done with this one, which is really the hardest part of all. But if you don't want to bring it out to a wing, you don't have to do that. You can do more of a wing. I just wanted to do a little bit. And I use an angled brush for this, and I find that that works really well with gel eyeliner for me. So now I'm going to bronze up my face just a little bit, just to warm it up. And we're going to go back in and contour in just a little bit because, again, it is Valentine's Day. We want to look a little extra fancy. But this will really help to warm up my complexion because I'm a little bit pale. So this will bronze up my face just a little bit. And again, you want to bring it down the neck a little bit because you don't want your neck to be pale when your face is bronzed up. So everything should match. So again, like I said, we're going to go into do a little bit of contouring, just a light contour with my favorite NARS Ita brush there. And for me, instead of the fishy face, just kind of bringing my mouth to the side there, I can really see the hollows. And I'm just lightly putting in a little bit in there. You can see it makes a slight difference, but it's nothing really, really unnatural. Going into the other side as well. I just like the way that that looks. It makes your face look a little bit slimmer, which is always a good thing. And I'm going to put a little bit on my nose just to straighten everything out a little bit. Down both sides, and then you'll see I'm going to bring it up just a little bit towards the side of my brows just to help it blend a bit better. I'm going to go with this really pretty blush from MAC. I like this one. It's called Blushbaby, and it's a great color for when you don't want it to take any attention away from everything else that's going on. It's just a very natural light pink. And then this beautiful highlighter, which unfortunately you can't see that well in the camera, but it's amazing. I promise. It's amazing. So I'm going to take this nude eyeliner into my waterline, and this is just going to help brighten everything up. You could put a black underneath there, but I thought that this made it a little bit softer. It just makes you look a little more awake and opens up the eyes. And we're going to go back in with that shade Nooner. And I'm just going to blend that under the eyes a little bit with a pencil brush, just to add a little bit of definition, not smoking it out too much and not adding too much color, but just a little bit of definition underneath there. Same thing on the other side. Want to even everything out. and then go back in with that darkest shade that we use called Factory. I'm going to take that on more of a defining brush there, flat definer, and just pack that color a little bit underneath there. It's not going to make a huge difference, but it's just going to add a little bit on that outer edge there. Just taking it in towards the middle there, not really too far into the middle of the eye. Going to curl those lashes. I like to do one eye at a time because mine don't like to stay curled, but I'm going to keep it nice and curled by using some waterproof mascara and then going back in with some regular mascara. That's the way that it works for me. Otherwise, those lashes just do not want to stay curled. So if I do this trick, one eye at a time, do one coat of waterproof and then go in with my regular mascara, I find that they stay curled much better throughout the evening. So I'm going to go in and do those lips. I'm going to line them first because I'm going to do a bit of a bright lip. So this will help everything to stay in the lines. It's a good idea when you're doing a bright color to line them a little bit. So I'm starting with the top lip, and I'm going to go in with that bottom lip there. And I'm not overdrawing them, just outlining them the way that they were made. And I'm going to fill them in a little bit as well, just so that that color lasts as long as possible. And this is a beautiful lipstick. I love this color. I've had this for a long time, and I love whipping this out because it's such a fun color. And gotta gloss it up because it is Valentine's Day, like I said. So this gloss goes really, really well with that bright pink lipstick. Just gotta spritz my face so it lasts all night long. And you can check all the colors below. I hope you enjoyed this. Have fun on Valentine's Day. Hope you feel the love.